verse has a very broad-based meaning. Allah will not change your condition unless you want to change yourself. You have to take the first step, and then Allah will help you. It applies everywhere, whether in your job, in your family, in the masjid, in your profession, anywhere. So there is a story about it I'd like to share with you. President Bush, he was communicating with his Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice. And there was a name who was the chief new China president. And Yasir means yes, sir. And they refer to Kofi Annan. He was the, general for United Nations. And they talk about milk, talk about sugar. So how they miscommunicated with each other, even at that high level.
Mr. President, Condoleezza Rice is here to see you.
Good, send her in.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. President.
Oh, Condoleezza, nice to see you. What's happening?
Well, Mr. President, I have the report here about the new leader in China.
Great, Condi, lay it on me.
Mr. President, who is the new leader of China?
Well, that's what I want to know.
Well, that's what I'm telling you, Mr. President.
Well, that's what I'm asking you, Condi. Who is the new leader of China?
Yes.
I mean the feller's name.
Hugh.
The guy in China.
Hugh.
The new leader of China.
Hugh.
The Chinaman.
Hugh is leading China, Mr. President.
What are you asking me for?
I'm telling you, Hugh is leading China.
Well, I'm asking you, Condi, who is leading China?
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Will you or will you not tell me the name of the new leader of China?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Arafat is in China. I thought he was in the Middle East.
That's correct, sir.
Then who's in China?
Yes, sir.
Yasser's in China?
No, sir.
Then who is?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir?
No, sir.
Connie, you're starting to piss me off now, and it's not because you're black, neither. I need to know the name of the new leader of China, so I want you to get me the Secretary General of the United Nations on the phone.
Coffee, Annan?
No, thanks. And Condi, call me George. Stop with that Ebonics crap.
You want coffee?
No.
You don't want coffee?
No, but now you mention it, I could use a glass of milk. And then get me the UN.
Yes, sir.
Not Yasser, the guy at the United Nations.
Coffee.
Milk! Will you please make that call?
And call who?
Well, who's the guy at the UN?
No, who is the guy in China?
Will you stay out of China?
Yes, sir.
And stay out of the Middle East. Just get me the guy at the UN.
Coffee.
All right, with cream and 2 sugars. Now get on the phone.
Hello. Rice here.
Rice, good idea. And get a couple of egg rolls, too, Condi. Maybe we should send some to the guy in China and the Middle East. Can you get Chinese food in the Middle East? I don't know.
So you can see that simple communication can be so misleading, confusion, and so many things can happen. It can happen in your family, with your wife, with your husband, or in your office with your boss, at every level. How you are communicating, that makes sense. How the other person is listening and taking it. That is very important. Most of the time we emphasize what the speaker is speaking, but we'll have to see the other side, the listeners, how he is picking up those communication. Like you're talking with your child. Many times you have confusion. The child is confused, even at this level, because the communication was not clear. A smart general is the one who knows the strength of his enemy than his own self. This is very important. Most of the time, we know our own strength, but do we know the strength of the other person whom you are fighting or defending? That is more important than your strength. A foolish Muslim is the one who destroys his akhirat for little gain in this world. We are doing every day. A smart Muslim is the one who protects his akhirat at any cost, even by losing everything in this world. This is fundamental for all of us. So we should overcome some barriers. Leaders are not born but made. Scholars are made. Great speaker is developed. You cannot be a speaker overnight, good speaker. You have to develop those qualities. There may be exceptions, but in general, it has to be trained and developed. That's what this workshop is basically asking all of you to take some training. Sit back and do the basic things. We'll share with this presentation, but most of them are also in the CDs. So you can pick up most of them. I know it made CD maybe obsolete, but it has all the good information. A bodybuilder is made with hard work. He cannot develop his muscle overnight. He develops regularly. Shyness can be overcome. If you are shy, you cannot speak. There is always room for improvement. Anything you are doing, anything, there is an i14 right now, iPhone 14, there will be 15, 16, even 20. Progresses, develops. Anything you do, it can be improved, it can be developed, it can be better. There is always room for better mousetrap. Aim high, look for the stars. That is NASA beliefs. They always believe this thing. Always aim high. Sky is the limit. There is no limit. Whatever NASA does, I worked over there, I saw them. Whatever they design, develop, you will see the impact with the public after 20 to 30 years later. In 1982, I was used first time fax machine. There was no fax machine on the earth. Now today, even fax machine is obsolete. It is no longer necessary. It has been obsolete. So there is a continuous development of technology. Every field, we need to open up and don't think that what we are doing is the best. There's always room for improvement. If you can dream, we can make it happen. That's what they believe. It is true in every field. Yes, we can, President Obama said, right? And that's how he got elected president. And now even in China, they have a school with this course. Yes, we can, in the university level. So these are some of the barriers we need to overcome to be a better speaker. This is a good example. You can see that these people are moving their cart with square wheels and carrying stones. And they are saying that we are too busy. And this guy is offering circular wheel. He said, no, we don't need it. We are doing okay, thanks. See how it is destroying the street even. So you have to open up. Whatever you are doing, you should open up because there will be better way to do the same thing. Is it not better circular wheel than the square? Right? But they did not see that. Even if you go to Disney World today, they have actually exhibition about the wheel. First wheel was triangular. Then it became a square. Then it became circular. Today you cannot think about a square wheel or triangular wheel. There is always a paradigm shift. That means continuously things are shifting continuously. If you see Amazon versus Walmart, they're heavily competitive with each other. Apple versus Samsung. South Korea is a very small country, but its Samsung is everywhere. Even here, you have a big company, right? Some branch, because they have been developed their technology, their progress, so they are beating in the competition with Apple. Boeing versus Airbus. 20, 30 years back, Boeing had 80% market. I want you to please keep writing so that you don't fall asleep. That is one of the reasons of writing habits. Take some notes, whatever you do. And Airbus is almost now 60% to 40%. Switch is a good example. You see, 50, 60 years back, all over the world, all these switches were made in Switzerland. So one Japanese scientist, he designed a watch, very cheap IC circuit. It has no moving parts, no springs. So he went to Switzerland and showed them that, look, this is much better than your clock because you have to wind every day. You have a spring, you have a lot of gears. It's very costly, but I have no moving parts. It runs on battery for 5 years. And it's so convenient. It is even waterproof, all kinds of good features. You know what those Swiss people says? That we don't need your junk watch. We don't need your cheap craps. We don't need your watch. We are better. We are 80% market in the world today. They fail to see the future. So now today, if you see the switch watch, if you try to find it is in the museum, it is in the pawn shop. It is no longer around. Those Swiss watch is completely gone. Those factories in Switzerland is completely shut down. They're gone. They're obsolete. They're history. Why? They fail to see the future. Yes. Yeah, I'm coming, inshallah. So, you see, they fail to see the future. If you don't see the future, and if you don't adjust yourself, you'll be overrun. Xerox. Every copy machine used to be called Xerox machine. Now Xerox is hardly around, right? Canon and all other things. Kodak camera is by overrun. There is no such thing. Kodak camera was an icon for Americans. Now today, it's not there. You have your cell phone to take pictures. Why should I have a camera? So these are the trend, as I'm saying, it can change your life, it can change your country, it can change everything. What you have today, you may not have tomorrow. And if you are not alert, you'll be overrun. You will be completely obsolete. You will be out of business. In every field, not only in the world level, even Islamic level. You can see a lot of good-hearted Muslims, they are better off, they are better trained, they can speak better, they are trained better. They are new Muslims, but they are taking better share of the market. This is another example. The fox invites the stork. The fox. And the plate is flat. So fox, he's the host, he's eating, no problem. But the stork cannot eat anything because he cannot pick up anything with his beak. On the right side, the stork invites the fox. And here, the bottle has long neck, so the stork can put his beak and pick up the fish, but the fox cannot pick up anything. You see, both invited, but the host did not realize the need of the what you call customer, need of the guest. And so it only looks for its own needs. That is one of the reasons when you invite a guest, ask him, what kind of food you like? I want to invite you, but tell me what you like. I don't want to cook something full with the table, and only I can eat because I like those foods. So check with the guest first before you invite. Same with the customer. You build something the customer doesn't need. It is happening every day. When I first came to America, I went to Sears. Sears was very open everywhere. One principle hit me very hard, and it reminds me still now, the customer makes better decision. That was the motto of their business. They are so successful. If you know your customer's need, then you can make a sale. You can communicate better. The customer will end up buying your product. If you don't need customer's need, like this picture shows, you fail to recognize the customer's need and end up eating your own food. So that is a no-no thing to do. You should always check communication. Effective communication is the key. It applies everywhere, as I said, in your family, with your son, with your daughter, with your children, with your husband, with your wife, everywhere. What the other person needs, what they're expecting from you. There's always miscommunication, especially these days. We have a lot of issues with the Muslim families. Husband, wife, they cannot go along. Separation is becoming regular features. Because we don't communicate. We are busy earning money. We decorate their house with expensive cars and so many things, but we fail to communicate with each other. You hardly meet each other. In Houston, there is a Baytown city. There is a doctor, husband to wife, both doctors. And I visited their house. Their house has 15 bedrooms, largest house in that county or in that area. So I have a hard time to find husband or wife. Anytime I knock the door, either husband is there or wife is there. The husband, finally I found the husband, and husband says, you are lucky you found me because I'm always in the hospital. And if not, my wife is in the hospital. They're working 24/7. So they hardly know each other. They hardly communicate with each other, end up with separation. So those are the things, take your time, balance everything in your life. Money is not everything. Yes, we need money, but it doesn't mean that you have to spend all time only for money, and hardly communicate with each other. Hardly have time for each other. Hardly have time for your children. You're too busy. And you have an expensive house. Can you live with less expensive house? Can you live with less compromising things in your life so you can have other times for other priorities which are important? Your child is growing. That is a priority. If you don't guide him today, he will be something else tomorrow. So those are communication very effectively needed everywhere. So there are 4 kinds of skills. One is speaking. One is listening, also very important. I have seen many people, I am sure you have seen, they always talk, continuously talking. They don't want to listen to anything. Listening is a part of communication. When you talk, you should be ready also to listen. Thinking and not verbal. Not verbal means you show your signs that you care. You like it to your wife, that you care, you love her. It is not only mouth, because sometimes she thinks that you only good in talking, but not in action. So those kind of miscommunication happens regularly. With your job said one thing, you are doing another thing. So those kind of miscommunication happens. Body language helps most. See, it is said that only 7% is the information we are sharing. 93% has to do with other things. Like I'm talking right now. You will only remember probably 7%. Like that's what this survey says. 93% has to do with other things. How is my movement? How is moving my hands? A face. I am talking. I'm looking at you. Your voice tone. Am I harsh or soft voice? All these things. Am I taking pause in between my talks? Those are important. There are some people, they talk so fast. You don't even know what he's talking. So fast. You talk with your son so fast. He says, Dad, you talk, I don't know what you are saying, what you are asking me to do. This is regular feature. We have time for everything. We have time for 3 hours to watch a video, but we don't have time 5 minutes to talk with your children. Is it not common? It is becoming a regular feature. We are becoming regular Americans. So take your time. We are Muslim. So take your time, not only in the masjid, and not only with your friends, but with everybody. And there are 7 C's of effective communication. We should look, when you talk, you should cover these 7 items. This is very important. All starts with C's. Let me see what does it mean. Clear. Your message should be clear to the recipient. You talk something, he doesn't even know what you're saying. So it is useless to talk like that. You should make it clear. See the audience, who is listening to your talk, to whom you are talking. Is it clear to the recipient? It may be clear to you, but not to him. Concise. If you can make some sentences, message in 6 sentences, can you make it in 3? Making it longer is not a good thing. It doesn't mean anything. You're confusing people. So it should be concise, small, to the point. You're talking to your manager to the point so that he can understand what you are saying. The manager is not a technical person. So talk with him in a non-technical way. You may be a technical savvy or guru, right? You're very good in software, codes, all kinds of things. But when you talk with a person who is not technical, you have to make your message clear also so that he can pick up, he can at least understand. So concise. Concrete. If you are making a presentation of a building construction, you have to be concrete, details, facts, all those things. You don't talk something, looks very beautiful, it doesn't help the people who are making decision for you on that building. Correct. Anything you say has to be accurate. It has to be typo-free. Good example. If you have a message which is typo, missing, some people even complain. My children complain that, Dad, you send the text is incorrect English. So for me, it doesn't matter. I want to transmit the message, but they pick it up on that. So your correctness is important to some people, what you are sending. If you quote a hadith and Quran, it has to be correct. Good example. If you quote some information, some data has to be correct. Coherent. What you are saying, does it make sense? Is it connected? Is it relevant? You are saying something, it is not completely different. You started with a topic, you are talking something else. It has to be coherent, exactly what is your topic, and based on that topic, you are collecting all the information, all the examples. It has to be consistent with your tone and flow. It has to make sense. You just don't want to talk because you have to finish in half an hour. You take time and make your information pieces related, connected. Complete. You don't say something incomplete. People don't know what you're asking. You started with big bang, but in the middle of this thing, you just stopped because you ran out of time. Budget your time so that you have certain, we'll come to that a little later. But basically what I'm saying is, it has to be complete. Whatever is your message has to be complete. And the last one is friendly, open, and honest. It always pays off. Remember this thing. Look like a politician. They talk smooth, coherent, courteous, friendly, those kind of things. You are so nice to your boss, but how much you are nice to your wife, to your husband? Are you? Ask yourself. You are so naive, so gentle to someone you met in the shopping mall or somewhere, but when you come to the masjid, you are so rough and tough with other people. So these are something you need to develop. It pays off, believe me. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the best example. Uswatun hasana. He had the best example, best character, best way of reaching out even to his enemies. That's why Allah says he is the best. So we need to develop in these areas. So these are the 7 C's. Test yourself. When you prepare anything, when you talk, when you prepare, when you interact, cover these things. This gentleman is a very famous European. He spent a lot of his life on these things. I'd like to share with you, if I can get this. Let's see if we can pick up.
Let me take you inside your brain right now. Do you know what you'd see? You would see a bunch of limiting beliefs. You would see fears.
If you want to become a more persuasive communicator, then you need to focus on 3 things at the same time. I've coached leaders and managers from around the UK and Europe for thousands of hours, and I keep encountering the same mistakes. Aristotle said that to influence and persuade people effectively, you need to focus on logos, which is logic, pathos, which is emotion, and ethos, which is credibility. Most people focus on the first one, or at least they think they do. So first, logos or logic. You may feel you're already doing this when you fill your slides with multiple bullet points, tables and graphs, but you're not. That's just information. Logic requires a clear structure which allows your audience to understand your message and follow your argument. Secondly, pathos. You need to also connect with the emotion of your audience. You need to understand their drivers, their ambitions, their hopes and their worries. Remember what's in it for them. So when you share your message, they feel that it is about them and their desires, not you and yours. So here's the third vital ingredient, pathos or credibility. And this is all about you, because your reputation will go before you. So build a reputation for delivering results and for great customer service, and people will respect and like you. When added to your expertise, your influence will massively increase. So here's a tip. Do your homework. There are always times when we lack experience and we lack knowledge. So you must do your research. But if on top of this, you use the credibility and authority of others to strengthen your argument, then you will be much more influential. And as a leader, that's definitely worth knowing.
Okay, so you can see there is look at his way of talking, how nicely, slowly he talked, no rush, and he was making.
Let's talk today about negotiation tactics. One of the most powerful of all is called persuasion by reciprocity. It's considered by many to be the most powerful law of human nature. And what is...
Okay, let's go back to our presentation. So there are certain etiquette when you are talking, mostly Islamic, we're going to share with you, because most of our life, outside our job, we deal with masjid, schools, all kinds of things. So I'm sharing mostly about it. When you talk in front of public, you do not show your weakness. Okay. Don't show weakness to Allah only. Don't stand in front of public and say that, well, I'm not a scholar, I don't speak Arabic, and all these things. And don't be nervous, don't talk, not organized, effective, scratch your head, those kind of things. Focus your attention. Stand sideways. Sometimes people stand on not balanced, not prepared. Looks like you're not prepared. Stand with resting on pillars, those kind of things. Looking down on his speech. Look to the people when you are talking. That is the way it should be. Standing on like a statue, you don't move. Make your movement, move your hand, move your positions, if possible, if you are standing. These are some of the examples, as you can see. Too much movement of hands, move forward and backward, sitting and standing. Be shy, cannot communicate effectively. Talk too fast, people don't know what you're saying. Can I ask a question, or should we ask it then? Let me finish this part. Huh? Pardon me? Okay.
Here's a question.
Okay.
For the second one, you said being
Nervous.
don't be nervous, right? So sometimes you have stay straight and stuff, right? So you cannot control what you say get nervous. Do you have any tips how not to become nervous?
Try to control yourself, first thing. Second thing, I want every brother and sister here to prepare anything you say, prepare it. Don't stand and start talking. Looks like you're not prepared. Is a politician, their lips, they're tight, right? You know why? Anything they say become an evidence, is it not? Anything they will say. So similarly, in your life, whatever you say, prepare it as much as possible. So you'll not be nervous, you'll be able to communicate better. That is the reason. These are some of the other things. Low voice, people don't hear what you're saying. Sometimes the speaker or the mic is not working. Look at one side. Talk at random, no direction. People don't know what you're saying. You talk for 15 minutes. People don't know what you're asking. What is your mission? What is your goal? Talk without the end in sight. People don't know when you're going to finish your talk. Even in Jummah khutbah, sometimes people talk, I saw people talk at random. People don't know what is your mission of this speech. You talked half an hour, people still don't know what you're saying. You pick up from some Quranic ayat here and there and just keep talking at random. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam never used obscene talks, nor did he listen to it, narrative by Bukhari. Personal stories, try to avoid as much as possible. If you want to say a story, say the stories of the Prophet or the companions of the Prophet. Some sheikh's story. You like some sheikhs, you talk about him a lot. You don't need to. These are not beneficial for the ummah, especially living in this country. If you're living in overseas, a Muslim country, you can talk about your sheikh, no problem. But if you're living here, you should have your talk, from authenticity, Quran and Hadith, stories of Sahaba, stories of the Prophet. Don't talk about miracles. A lot of times we expect miracles. There is no such thing here. You become a normal Muslim and don't rely on miracles. It may happen, may not happen. Many Sahabis became slaughtered in their battlefield. Miracle didn't happen. Promise of miracles if one goes for dawah, good example. These are some of the stories I have seen. Many times people say these things, these are not good stories. Criticism of the present condition of the Muslims. As if you are rebuking your own children. Standing in front of public and talking about the worst thing about the Muslims happening around the world is not a good thing to say. We know we have issues in different countries. We have, abuse, all kinds of governments, all kinds of things. But this is not the platform to talk about those kind of things. Sometimes we talk about different imams. This is Hanafi, this is Shafi. We try to avoid those things. And that continues Islamic. There are some comparisons like this organization is better than this organization. Criticism of the Islamic activities. Some of them, look what they are doing, how they are wasting money and time, those kind of things. Attack Western culture. Now it is less these days, because 10, 15 years back, they used to always attack America. America is the worst of everything. That was the main theme of the topic. It should not be. Take side on an issue, repeat items, long speech. Different topics. In your same topic, people don't know what you are saying. You're saying one thing and another thing. Talk like a mufti. This is halal, this is haram. Now it is less these days, but it used to be very dominantly, people used to completely say that. Look, he's buying a house, all kinds of things. I don't know how to say this thing. This should not be in our topic. This is not healthy for the unity of the Muslims. That's what I'm saying. Something may not be halal, but you don't have to tell the whole world, right? There are many other good things to say. Talk about our children's education, about the schools, about benefits. There are so many good things to talk about to benefit our society and community. Fatwa during speech, negative talks. Do not say what you don't have to do. Say what you have to do. Sometimes we say all kinds of hell and all kinds of things, right? Say something positive side. Talk about heaven more. Talk about less punishment, not more punishment. You see what I mean? It scares our children. They became afraid. Punishment is there, sure, but we should say more about the heaven. We don't even know about the heaven very much. So talk should be positive. What do we need to do more than what we don't have to do? What is wrong to do? Those things. And these are some of the things we should do in your talk. If you are a speaker, you should have this kind of help. Ask Allah to help. Start with some Arabic verses like Bismillah, Kalima Tayyib, Durud Salam, all these things. This should be like first 2-3 minutes should be on these things. Good physical appearance, dress nicely. These are body language. Always eye contact. Look it in all directions. Speak clearly. Maintain speed, not too fast, not too slow. He who truly believes in Allah and the last day should speak good or keep silent. If you cannot speak good, don't talk anything. Speak with a purpose. Whenever you speak, I sometimes know the professional speaker, the moment they open their mouth, on the first sentence, I can understand what is this topic. Can you do that? You don't have to give big introduction, and then you describe your topic. Clear your topic right from the beginning. Build your case. Whatever you say has to, like an attorney in front of the judge and the jury, make his case and argument and points in support of that topic. Structured speech, very organized, connected to the point. Every portion, every example is related. You don't want to talk something, it has no connection with your topic. It should not be there. And every part is connected to the topic. A lot of criticism, encouragement in speech. Focus on akhirat. This is the important area. Sometimes we do not, but we try. We know more about these worldly things, about technology, about so many other things, right? We are on the top-notch edge of technology, especially living in this country. But how about the life hereafter? What will happen in the grave, day of judgment, all those things? We talk more about it. If you want to say stories of the companions of the Prophet, Sahabas. They sacrificed a lot. They have a lot of good things sacrificed. Talk about that. Correct meaning of Quran and Hadith. Well versed, if you can, quote Hadith with references. Lot of wisdom in his speech, positive talk, as you mentioned. Your talk should contain new data. Whatever you say, if you talk about the same thing like other people are talking, then nothing new. You create some data which is new. Some people do not know about it. Persuasive speech. And these are some of the areas, as you can see, as much as possible. Why dawah is important, and Modina activities emphasize the importance of dawah. This is the topic I'm talking about, dawah itself. But if you have other topics, sure, you can pick up those related things. Responsibility of the last ummah, mind towards Allah during his speech. His speech is an appeal, not an order or demand. I have some masjid I have seen that Imam is giving his speech, looks like he's shouting so hard. That is not the way to talk. Your speech should always be an appeal, no matter what is your purpose of this speech. If it is a Jummah khutbah or regular speech, it is always an appeal, not an order or demand. It always pays off. So these are some of the areas we should tone down our voice. Look at that guy who was talking about three things. How nicely he talked. Tone was smooth, not high, not low. Sometimes we go high when it comes to Islamic activities. Looks like we are about to go to jihad right now. It is not a healthy thing for our children. And they get alarmed sometimes. Sometimes by our talks, our children get scared, alarmed. So be moderation. Use moderation. Speech should be. Aisha Siddiqa radhiyallahu anhu narrates that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to talk so clearly and breaking words that I could actually count those words separately. Can you see his talk? He's the best speaker, right? How he used to talk like that. So that it pays off. Message becomes more transparent. Sometimes you're too fast. People cannot even understand what you're saying. You're too fast, you're going. So use moderation so that your goal is not to make a flashy, fiery speech, but to communicate the listeners so that they can pick up most of things you said. That is the goal. So this is the structured bayan. Just to give an example, like you start with Bismillah, Durud and this and that, attributes of Allah. It's a good thing to have. Sometimes we start talking just like that. Say something good things about Allah. He has 99 names. You pick up few good names. Anything you like. Say something that Allah is Rahman, Rahim, He created the universe, He did all these things. And you should have a topic of this speech, virtues of dawah, like I picked up dawah here, an example. Stories of the Sahabas, sacrifice of the Prophet and his companions in Makkah and Medina, importance of Sunnah. Then you converge, and then you make dua. See, you start with the topic, added all those features, and at the end, people should know that you are about to finish your talk. From your talk, they should know that you are converging. Even in your technical presentation in front of technical expert, your manager, they're all sitting, vice president of engineering, they're sitting over there. They want to hear your presentation, technical presentation. So you should have a presentation, all the features, you describe everything, and then you converge. What is your conclusion? What do you want to do? How this design will help? Imam gave khutbah, Jummah khutbah. At the end of his talk, what he wants to accomplish, what is his topic, what he wants to deliver the message to the public. People should know about it. They should take a lesson. It is not just you talk, you are a good speaker, you recite nice Quran, Hadith. That is not enough for a good communication. That is enough for individual maybe, but not for a gathering in the masjid, especially on a Jummah prayer. I'm giving an example where you have 200, 300 people. All kinds of people are there. Youth, old, young, all kinds of people are there. And they should be able to pick up what you said. That's why in Jummah prayer, there is only 2 rakat, is it not? Zohar prayer has 4 rakat. Allah shortened it to make sure that you can communicate better to the community. That is one of the reasons I heard from our scholars. So you should have a convergence. Whatever you want to accomplish, whatever you want to ask people to do or hear to benefit, there should be conclusion and convergence, and then make dua. So this is a structured bayan. If you are a dedicated brother in the community, I want you to prepare speech, 3 to 5 speech, and carry with you all the time. You see, I used to do that. It happened in my life. Sometimes Imam is absent. He could not make it. He got an accident. When he was coming, there was no Imam. 200 people are waiting for Jummah prayer, and there is nobody. So I used to carry, I learned my lesson. So I used to carry his speech and then ready to go on the spot. So you should be able to do that same thing. Make some speeches, so anytime, anywhere you are asked to talk, you have a talk. For the youth, for the old, for masjid, for general, pick a few talks. If you want, I can provide you a list of 50 talks, so we can prepare it. I can give you the strings, and you can fulfill these strings and make a complete talk like this. So these are structured bayans, and when you do a good example, there may be easy way to do it and difficult way to do it. It should be our part and parcel of our life. We are living in this country, we are only 2% Muslim. 98% of the population around our vicinity, everywhere, in your office, in your neighborhood, they are not Muslim. So you need to communicate with them through email, through jail. Email is the best way. You get a lot of junk mail, right? Don't delete the junk mail. Save them. You can send them something positive things. I have presentation. Anybody send me junk mail, I send him that presentation. And it always helps. They send you back with positive information. In the jail, a lot of needs in the jail. Should be open to work or help those people who work in the jail. Good example, I provide Quran in the jail. A lot of new converts, they want to know Islamic, how to pray, how to recite Surah Fatiha, how to memorize Surah Fatiha, all these things. So I provide them prayer rugs, tosbih, meswak, all these supplies. Hospital, there are a lot of needs. Sometimes if you see emergency room, there are places where you can leave your Quran, people will read. In the church, they want Quran sometimes. You should visit those churches in your neighborhood. University, newspaper. Every city, as I was saying earlier, every city has a newspaper, is it not? What is the newspaper here in Austin? Austin Gazette, Statesman, right? Okay, like in Houston, we have Houston Chronicle. So what they do, if you look at this newspaper, every Saturday they have a religious section. And they have also a religious editor. And most of the time, if you open those pages, 2 page or 3 page, it is full of ads from different churches about their activities. Most of the time, there is no Muslim activities. It is a religious section. And they will advertise for your masjid free. Talk with the religious editor. There is a special editor of that newspaper. He's called religious editor. His job is to collect religious activities in this city and put it. So I had a talk with Houston Chronicle many times, and they put many things in the newspaper. People knew about it. In fact, one time my neighbor told me, I saw this article from your masjid in my local newspaper, Baytown. See, he found out, he's not a Muslim even. He saw the newspaper. People read newspaper. So that is one option. You should invite the newspaper. They can come if you have a different activities, Ramadan, Hajj, all kinds of Islamic activities you have, invite them. We show them this beautiful masjid and give them literature, give them information. They write something of their own way, post it, most of the time positive information about what you give it to them. So that is one way to communicate, to educate people about Islam. Reporter, invite TV reporter, they have evening news. They even spend 15 minutes, how the accident happened, how it hit a dog, all kinds of things. How about some good information? Because they have nothing else to talk about it. So we have the information, we should share. We should open up and visit them, invite them to come to the masjid, reporter, politicians, media, TV, radio, all these features are there to interact so that you can communicate better and educate public about Islam. So this is up to you, how much you want to do it. Most of the time you are confined only 5 times salat on few things, and most of the time masjid is closed. You cannot run a business like you are running a masjid. Ask yourself. If you have $1 million business, will you shut it down and do nothing? Will you accept the loss? Ask yourself. How can we take public money, build $1 million masjid, and no activity? The best masjid I saw in my life in Washington, there is a masjid called Adam Center. That masjid has 20 other small musallas where they have Jummah also. That masjid, Adam Center, is open 24 hours. After Fajr, senators are coming. After Zohar, congressmen are coming. After Asr, some church group coming. After Zohar, some school children wants to see the masjid. After every salat, they have some activity. It is open 24/7. That is called masjid. So we should be open up slowly, as I mentioned. We should not be just limited only for Muslim Islamic activities. Open up to the communities, invite your neighbors, open house, all kinds of things are possible, and it educates people. Most of the people in the jail became Muslim, and I get their letters. And why they became Muslim? Because somewhere, someday, they actually met a Muslim in the jail, or he wrote an article about Islam in the Google. And when he went to the jail, he realized what he read in the Google when he was not in the jail. And that motivated him to think more, because he has more time now to think, and take Shahada. Look for Muslims and take it. So those are the avenues we have. We need to explore as much as possible in our masjid. Here there are 20 questions, as you can see. Dr. Zakir Naik, he dedicated his life. So I'm not going to, it is in the CD, I gave it to you. And those sisters who came late, you can also sign up and get a CD, inshallah, even when you have break. These 20 questions like this, and there is a website here. These, he thinks, he did his research, and if he thinks that these are the 20 questions most of the non-Muslim ask. These are the questions. So he has an answer also. So please take time to read those questions and find answers, and you will have a ready-made answer. If you hear Zakir Naik, how he talks, looks like everything is in the computer. He has an answer for everything. We don't, right? We cannot be like him, but actually prepare yourself with those kind of answers so it can make sense to the person who is listening to you. So this is important if you are interacting with others. Do not reinvent it, perfect it. You don't start all over.
Will the answers of those questions?
No, not now. So, but I want you to know that there is the answer for these things. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, like we talked about it. The answers are there professionally. Okay? With hikmah. Allah says, give dawah with hikmah. Right? So use your wisdom. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It is already invented. We make it perfect. Right now, we know that there's a tire down. They're trying to make the tire in elliptical shape, right? There's a new tire. There is a new tire coming also without air. So those are the improvements. People are doing it to make it a better one. Now here is the last part of our session, inshallah. I have this list. Look at this list carefully. These are controversial topics. As you can see, these are topics, when someone asks you, it becomes controversial. These are 48 items. You see, these are the items non-Muslim always attack you. Sometimes we cannot even answer. These are real. As a Muslim, we should know about these things. These people ask about it, these things, like good example, grammatical mistake in the Quran. Some people find out there is a mistake in the Quran. Some people say there is a mathematical error in the Quran. Do you have an answer? We don't even know. But what I did here, these are the 6 people, Dr. Zakir Naik, Noman Ali Khan, Yasir Kazi, Yusuf Estes, Khaled Yasin, Hamza Yusuf. They actually have answer for each of the items. Okay? So what I did your homework. Each of the items, you can see, like polygamy, Dr. Zakir Naik has a YouTube, Yusuf Estes has one, Khaled Yasin has one. I picked up 2 to 3 top answers and shortest answer, because we don't have time. We are always busy. And we are all laymen. We are not scholars, is it not? Right? So if we have to face these things, you can pick up the answer. These are professionally answered by these great scholars. I want you to go through their answers, and it will make you aware what to answer. That is the exercise. You see all of them. All this list I have in this CD. These lists are there for you to look at it. So these are the 49 items, and each of them has answers. You can pick up any of their answers. Sometimes only one answer, because there is no other. Good example, 48. Grammatical mistakes in the Quran. Only Zakir Naik has the best answer. It's perfect. Within 4 minutes, you'll be able to clarify why there is no grammatical mistakes. Why? It is easy to say, but how can you prove it? Mathematical error in the Quran. We should know about it. There is no error. People confuse. People do not know the Arabic literature. That's why they are confused. They are asking all kinds of questions. And there is a professional answers, each of them. So I have this list in this CD. I want you to take time. If you want to do the work of dawah in this country, someday, somewhere, you will face these questions. And I want you to educate yourself, train yourself, so that we can professionally answer and prepare for it. We cannot be like Zakir Naik, can we? Right? If you want to try, you can try, sure. But you can have his answer. Why not use his answer? He professionally answered in front of thousands of people, and those are listed, recorded, and we use them to benefit our preparation. So this is something we can always do that. So this is the last page. What actually this seminar, effective communication, actually ideally it should be like, stop right here, and I'll give you the CDs, and you go back, and you study those links, each of them, and next day you come, and we'll pick up a topic at random to any of you, and you'll be able to answer those answers you have learned last night from those links. That way you'll be alert and prepare yourself. But unfortunately, our session is only today. So I want you to go through this list. Don't put in the shelf and collect dust. Please take time, see the answers, what they said about each of the topics, and prepare yourself. So we talked about body language, eye contact, clear speech, short sentences, format speech, pick up to topic, speak for 2 minutes. That is one of the exercises we are supposed to do, but anyway, we can try. You can try in your locally, in your masjid. Meet again after 1 month or so, go through the list, and remember those answers from our professional speakers, scholars, and benefit from it. I have a book, as you can see, Where Do You Stand? What Didat used to talk, he talked a lot, many things. So I put his word in this book. It has all the references from Bible, from Torah, from Hindu Ved, and Quran. Also, I have the same book in Spanish on the right side. Spanish is the fastest growing population. If you are giving dawah in this country, especially southern part of USA, you should have your talk, your literature, your speeches, your all these things in Spanish also. They are the fastest growing population. In the year 2040, right now what, 2022, right? Within the next 15 to 20 years, there will be majority in this country. And the middle book is what every woman should know. There are so many beautiful rights of women. You'll be amazed to see. You will not see the beauty of Islam unless you compare. I want our sisters to read this book. And then you will see how beautiful Islam is. And that is one of the reasons 4 out of 5 converts in America are women. They find the beauty of Islam and accepting in large numbers. So I have rights about women in Hinduism, in Buddhism, in Judaism, in all other religions. How they abuse, how they mistreat women's rights. And when you read those, compare them. I have also some flyers, inshallah. I couldn't make copies, inshallah. If we can make, we'll distribute to you. Rights of women. And that is a good argument in front of street dawah. We have brothers in street dawah. They do it in Los Angeles, in Detroit, in New York. They set a table like this and put Quran and those flyers in front of a shopping mall. Anybody comes in, they want to know about Islam. 30 minutes, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, they take Shahada and live with those Quran and flyers. So this is something working. We can also do the same thing. If you want to do it here or in your masjid, I'll be able to give those flyers and benefit from it. So this is the summary. We talked about elements of effective communication, do and don'ts in speech, teamwork. We're going to talk about teamwork right after the break, inshallah, about an hour. Comparative religion. We have now links. Inshallah, those who have signed up, I'll send you the links of the presentation. I used to present to churches. You can do the same thing. I have in Spanish also and French. You should practice alone, question and answer sessions on controversial topics. Practice alone with the crowd. Keep 5 lectures ready, handy. I want all of you, inshallah, best of luck. Prepare 5 lectures, 15 to 20 minutes of your time. You have to deliver either a Jummah khutbah or a speech to youth or anywhere. And what you call structure those bayans in such a way, prepare yourself so that you can ready to talk any place, anywhere. That is one of the benefits of PowerPoint. You don't have to think. It is already listed. You see the bullets and talk about it, right? It's so easy. That is one of the reasons I think Yasir Qazi one time made a proposal that Jummah khutbah should be PowerPoint. And he got a lot of bad names. But anyway, I think he has a point. Because when people talk, even in Jummah, they talk at random in many things. If you have PowerPoint, you can see the message. And those who are, most of the Musallis, they come always at late anyway. So they can see the bullets and get the message. So that is one idea. So any questions, inshallah? This is our contact number. I have some flyers. Yeah, we'll just 1 minute, I'll give you the break. I have these 3 flyers, inshallah, I'll leave a copy and benefit from it. Good example is this one, women's rights. Okay, on the back, we have all religion and 10 items. And each religion shows you how they deal with those rights. Some doesn't have even rights. And it is amazing, it is the best way to convey someone to become Muslim. The other thing is comparative religion. The prophets are connected. And population summary worldwide. Why Islam is the fastest growing religion. It has the table to justify. And on the back, it shows the criteria of each religion, what they believe in. And third thing is, our youth wants to know where is Allah. This is like I used to work for space, so I envision those solar system, and then as you can see, 7 skies, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to travel, how he traveled, he meet Allah, all these features are there. Allah says, I am closer to you than your jugular vein. And on the back about our destination to different places, heaven and hell, all the details. It's a very useful tool to share with anybody who doesn't have any faith or he doesn't believe in anything. Jazakallah khair, inshallah. If you have any question, we'll be able to answer. But we take a break. We can continue any short questions, I'll be happy to answer. Then we take a break. Then I have another presentation, it's called Teamwork. I'd like you to join, inshallah. That is more interesting in your professional life also, and you can benefit from it.